Wrestling gifts. Back with Pav. Um, Another great video by Pav. For sure, I'm sure of it. Big fan of Pav. Um, Royal Rumble 2009 is low key a classic. Um, we'll see. I don't really remember Rumble 2009 that well. I don't. I can't even think of who won 2009. I don't
Like I
even know.
mentioned in the last video, over the past few weeks, your boy has been on a heavy Royal Rumble binge, and over the past few weeks, I've been having a blast watching classic Rumble pay-per-views. And when you think of classic Rumble events, it's pretty unanimous what shows come to mind. You know, you think of 92, you think of 2001,
Yeah,
07, 08,
2001
and
was
now even
great.
recently the 2020 show has rightfully reached classic status. I agree with all of those, but I also think there should be another one thrown in there. Ladies and gentlemen, Royal Rumble 2009 might low-key be a classic. This is a show that barely gets talked about. If there's ever been a Rumble show that's
I
been
don't
kind
think
of
I've
lost to
ever
time,
really even
it's
thought
definitely
about it.
this one. And it's a damn shame because Royal Rumble 2009 is one of the most fascinating and fun Rumble
Mike
pay-per-views
Knox.
I've ever watched, and I consider it a classic, and we gotta talk about it. Rumble '09 is special because this show centers around one man, and I don't know if you guys ever heard this, but apparently Randy
Randy
Orton was a menace
Orton.
in 2009, and boys, this is the Randy Orton show.
Oh, this is when he was punt kicking everybody. This is back before they said you can't do that anymore.
Randy, after weeks of getting crazier and crazier, had just snapped and he had just killed Vince McMahon on Monday Night Raw. He slapped the man in the face, kicked him in the head, and left him leaving the arena on a stretcher. Now, this was something we had seen before. You know, Vince get his ass kicked. Austin did it back in the
Yeah,
day. But Austin would just kind of
just about
torture him,
everybody
give him a
did.
stunner. Randy was out here trying to catch a body. And going into the show, there was just so much hype around it. It was announced online that Randy was 100% going to face consequences for his actions. Even on Smackdown, they took time out to mention it. He might get fired, he might get arrested, but despite all of that, he was still scheduled to appear at the Royal Rumble. And it was like, wait,
I need to
what
go
if
back and
this
watch this.
crazy
This sounds
mother
super good.
wins the Rumble? Yo, they made it seem like basically if Randy won the Rumble, it was gonna be a national security threat or something. It was like as if a serial killer was on the loose. And let's be real, 90% of the people watching going into this show knew that this schizo who had just beat the hell out of Vince, who had just thrown Stephanie McMahon, was winning the Rumble. This was one of the most predictable Rumbles ever. I knew Randy was winning, my mom knew, Herbert from Family Guy knew, everyone knew. But we still needed to see it. Rumbles have never needed a storyline to make the match hot, but when you get something like this every now and then,
Yeah.
it adds so much. And it was Randy Orton.
I think one of the most fun things about the Rumble is the returns. Yo, thank you for the follow, the OC. Yeah, W React. But yeah, the Rumble is most fun when there's a huge return. That's for sure. The Rumble can have storylines in it. Yeah, for sure. But when you have like a crazy return like Edge, that makes the Rumble that much more special.
Versus the world. And luckily for us, this wasn't the only big match on the show, because what else makes the show fascinating is this was Jeff Hardy's one and only pay-per-view WWE title defense after Armageddon 2008. And of course,
Oh
it was
wow,
like his
I didn't
best
even think
slimy,
about that.
disgusting piece of shit Edge. What a time. Going to the Rumble, you had Randy in his prime, you had Jeff in his prime,
Yeah,
the
we
Rumble
definitely need to
match,
watch
a
this.
stacked roster, a theme song for the event that is a banger to this day that you already knew your boy had downloaded on his PSP and would listen to all day, every day. To say I
PSP,
was
no
tuned in
way.
would be an understatement. Let's get into it. The show begins with an awesome intro centered around Randy Orton, the menace, the savage, the demon from St. Louis, and they basically portrayed this man like he was King Von of the company. Add in some Rumble hype, and the show starts off with a hot crowd and pyro everywhere. Now, I know what you're thinking. Pav, I love you, you're a cool guy,
Oh
but
yeah,
there's no way a
big
show that starts out with
big
Jack Swagger
big
versus Matt
WWE
Hardy for
fan.
the ECW title is a classic.
Oh, dude, that ECW title's so ugly. Oh god, I hate that. I hate that title. But yeah, I'm a huge WWE fan. My whole channel and all my content is based around WWE.
Okay, that's valid, but let me cook. Yeah, sadly, this show does start off with this barn burner. Who the hell was watching ECW in 2009?
Yeah,
But despite that, this was a solid little match.
so
You had
real.
Matt Hardy doing his best, whatever that means in 2009, looking as clumsy as ever. Jack Swagger had negative aura, but we all know that. Matt Hardy almost broke his neck doing a moonsault in this match. Listen, Matt, I get you, Miss Lita, but you're not gonna get her back by just copying your entire.
Oh, He got no air on that. He got absolutely no air on that. That's awful.
flow and breaking your neck. Listen, it was fine. It was Matt Hardy versus Jack Swagger, and the match was here for a reason. It was a solid 10-minute match, and at the end, after Matt Hardy got clapped, we had to watch Matt be all depressed because he lost his ECW title, and realistically wasn't going to get any chance for it again anytime soon. Poor guy was going through it. But the night
Yeah.
continues, and we get to what
It's a
actually
rough
matters,
time
and that's
for
the
Matt
Randy
Hardy.
Orton saga. And they have the commentary team cutting like this promo. It's so somber, and I swear they're using the
King
same tone
Lawler.
they use when someone actually dies in the company when providing updates on Vince. But I love when they show Randy Orton arriving to the arena, and everyone's just avoiding him, staring at him like, oh my god.
Hold on. Did y'all see Mrs. hat? Let me go back. Probably right there. Let's see.
Randy Orton arriving to the
Wait,
arena. Everyone's
wait.
just
Look at this, bro. This is crazy. I would beat you in 1v1 trivia. Maybe. It's possible. I mean, I'm a huge fan, but I don't know everything. I'm not gonna say that I know everything. I mean, I love it, but I 100% don't know everything. And I'm more than happy to admit that. So could possibly beat me.
avoiding him, staring at him like, oh my god, who's this? They're literally treating him like he's Jeffrey Dahmer or something. Randy Orton was in the cut, and it was definitely a scary sight. And we get some more matches. Melina versus Beth Phoenix was alright, and Melina won the title. I give it 3 stars for Melina's entrance. And the first title match of the night was JBL versus John Cena in 2009. Yeah, maybe classic wasn't the word for this video. Okay, now I agree. Cena versus JBL in 09 was not moving anyone, especially when these idiots just had a feud in 2008 that was already overkill. But this match actually had some drama because this took place during the time where Shawn Michaels was destitute. Yo, shout out to wrestling for teaching me these words because there is no way I would have ever known what the hell destitute ever meant. Not now, let alone in 2008. Wrestling, what a great teaching tool. Yes, this
It really
was when
is. It's a
HBK
great
was
teaching
a
tool.
broke boy, and by definition, without the basic necessities of life. Wait, bro don't got water? The 2008 recession hit the world hard, but apparently one wrestler got clapped way harder than everyone else did. And it was a heartbreak kid, Shawn
Shawn
Michaels. Shawn
Michaels.
Michaels was broke. Just a year after main eventing WrestleMania, he was broke, and as a result, he had to become JBL's slave. He would lose to him, he would help him win, just so JBL could pay him some money. Because apparently
That's
his
so
wrestling
funny.
contract wasn't enough. Every week Shawn Michaels would just be so depressed, following around JBL, just basically he was basically Squidward.
I forgot about this angle. I forgot about this. Broke Shawn Michaels is a hilarious angle. That's so funny. I completely forgot about this angle.
In that one episode, spare change. Shawn Michaels was broke and he had to be JBL's little servant just to feed himself and his family. What the f were they thinking? So that's why we got JBL versus Cena at the Rumble for the world title. Was Shawn Michaels gonna help JBL become world heavyweight champion or not? So that was a little drama going in, but something very important happened right before this match started, by the way, that many people don't remember. Right before this match, for the first time, it was officially teased that HBK vs Undertaker might possibly happen at WrestleMania. Absolutely
I forgot about
massive.
that.
Cena and JBL have a decent match. It was
like,
fine.
I keep saying I forgot about that, but I forgot about this whole pay-per-view. I forgot about everything about it. I've only seen it probably once. But I mean, it doesn't look that bad. Probably next Sunday we'll watch it in the Discord, I think. I've already promised Noah for tonight. But I think next Sunday we'll probably watch Rumble 2009.
But the best part was definitely Shawn Michaels' involvement. He was doing his thing, he was teasing his motive the whole time, and it was all like, what is he gonna do? What is he gonna do? After all the shenanigans of the match, HBK gets in the ring, and it's like, who's he gonna super kick? Cena or JBL? Who's it gonna be? And when it's time, boom, down goes JBL. And Cena gets like the goofiest look on his face. Oh my god, what happened? I can't believe. Gosh darn. He
Lord
looks so
have
goofy.
mercy.
Meanwhile, by the way, Shawn
No
Michaels is still
way.
depressed, having a midlife crisis while Cena's making these facial expressions, and then boom, the crowd pops even more when Cena gets clapped, and in a pretty surprising twist, he actually puts JBL on top of Cena and leaves the ring. Now maybe I'm just a mark, okay, little stupid ass 10-year-old Pav. I thought it was cooked. When this first happened, I thought it was over. I really remember like looking at this like, yo, fuck your family, Shawn. You can't let JBL be champion. But HBK does the deed, he does his job, leaves the ring, but does it really matter? It's Super Cena. It's 2009.
Super
He
Cena,
kicks out. He holds the wrist
baby.
like it's Okada versus Kenny Omega in the Tokyo Dome. I can't believe I just made a Kenny versus Okada reference.
That's so funny. Yeah, because it's not anywhere close to Kenny versus Okada. Like that match is anytime you put Kenny and Okada in a ring together, it's a beautiful match. John Cena versus JBL. As much as I love both of them, probably not not as beautiful as Okada and Omega.
In JBL versus Cena, and boom, 1, 2, 3, Cena wins. Listen, it was whatever, right? It was average, it was anything special, 6 out of 10 match. It was Cena versus JBL in 2009, but for a few seconds, for a few minutes when HBK was doing his thing, it was pretty awesome. Still an awesome moment and pop. You know, it's a great average little match. The crowd got really into it, and HBK once again stole the show. And hey, we did get bamboozled and had a pretty close little false finish. I say it was a solid match. And just like that, there are only 2 matches left on the card. And this is where one person could easily say, well, Pav, how can this be a classic pay-per-view if 3 of the 5 matches were what they were? And normally I would agree. But hey, 2 matches on a card is also all you need for a classic in my opinion. Especially when one
Really,
of them is
he's
over an
right.
hour long.
Yeah, like the Rumble. If the Rumble is good, I mean, it's technically only for this pay-per-view series. But if the Rumble is good, you can count the rest of the pay-per-view as a win. Like you can count it as a classic. The rest of the matches don't matter as much on Rumble night because a lot of people show up for the Rumble, right?
Jeff Hardy, in a way, as we know, as we've heard a million times, was bigger than Obama in 2008. He was bigger than Prime Viscera, okay? He was that
Right.
guy. And what made his run to the top so special was, of course, the years of real issues that we had seen and heard about, right? Him leaving the company, the drug issues, all of that. And what made it even more special was in 2008, things were still happening in his personal life. His house burned down. He was actually suspended in 2008 for his drug issues. Yet by the end of the year, he was hotter than ever, more popular than ever.
Yeah, I saw somebody talking about this the other day that if Jeff Hardy got clean and had his 2008 run, we would be looking at Jeff Hardy in the same way we look at Cena today. And I cannot disagree. I 100% agree with that statement. Because if you go back and watch Jeff Hardy matches from 2008, the crowd is going nuts. People love Jeff Hardy. People still love Jeff Hardy. And I think if he had, you know, cleaned up and figured some things out, bro, Jeff Hardy would be a god of wrestling.
Ever and better than ever. And when you combine it with the challenges he had in storylines, the people were begging him to win the championship, and it's why when he did win, it was so special. Nobody ever thought it was possible. Nobody thought he would ever actually win, but it happened. And after everything that happened to him in real life and I guess fake life, he did it. It's why that moment is so iconic for people from my generation. It's up there with any wrestling moment for us, and it's why everyone rightfully so always talks about it. But what's usually not mentioned is the aftermath. When I found out that Jeff vs. Edge was at the Rumble for the title, there was no doubt in my mind that Jeff was winning. There was no way, I don't care how slimy, how nasty, how evil Edge was, there was no way Edge was gonna win. Going to this show, I thought Jeff Hardy...
This was also prime slimeball Edge. And this was when he was, doing a Alita in the middle of the ring. Like crazy times for the WWE.
When he got attacked by the pyro a few weeks before the show, I thought it was a wrap. I thought it was a real malfunction, and I knew Edge was behind it. Of course he was. He's the only one who could ever do something like that. When Jeff Hardy got into a car accident on Smackdown, Edge had to be behind it. And in 2008, when Jeff Hardy went missing before Survivor Series, it had to be Edge. It was always Edge. Edge was always in the right place, right time. It was Edge.
The ultimate opportunist.
Jeff was finally gonna get his revenge and move on and live happily ever after. I thought Jeff was winning. I thought it was no doubt. I thought it was easy. And even if you go online and look at predictions from older fans from 2009, everyone thought Jeff was winning. It's all I wanted. It's what was going to happen. Everything was supposed to be perfect. Jeff Hardy versus Edge for the WWE title, and just to make things even better, it was no disqualification, and these two went off. These two went crazy. This was one of my favorite matches to watch as a kid. As someone who was lucky enough to order this show on pay-per-view and also bought the DVD after, I would watch this over and over and over. Jeff Hardy, a month after winning the title, defending it, going all out with Edge. It was beautiful, and best of all, it was no disqualification. Jeff Hardy in matches that didn't have any rules was something I used to pray for. I'm not joking. I'm pretty sure I prayed for times like
I
this
mean,
back in
honestly, I
2008.
would
Chair
have
shots like 2
100%
minutes into
too.
the match, springboards, high flying moves straight away. Before you knew it, Edge was getting hit with a twist of fate on that apron. That wasn't common back then. It was amazing, it was intense, it was physical, it was everything you ever wanted from these two. And watching this back all these years later was so fun because first of all, the arena reminds me of SVR 2010. Jeff Hardy's face paint reminds me of SVR 2010. What a fun time this was. Jeff Hardy had so much aura.
I
Chavo was
love
out
Jeff
here being a
Hardy
little
so
rat
much.
trying to help Edge win, and it didn't matter because I love the spot where Jeff just says YOLO and decides to wild out on Chavo and casually jump off a ladder through a table, not to Edge, no, to Chavo. And I always love the spot because of how scary it looked. Jeff Hardy literally slipped off the ladder, but still managed to recover and hit the move. And it's
Oh
like,
my
of course he
gosh.
did. It's Jeff
Yeah, we're
Hardy.
definitely
It's
watching
Jeff
this in the
Hardy, bro. When
Discord.
Little Pap saw that, trust me, my shirt was off. I was jumping around up and down my living room. Jeffrey was not losing on this night, and these two put on such a good match. The crowd loved it. It was so back and forth, and what I loved was there was no finisher spam. This wasn't one of those matches just like finisher, finisher, finisher. Edge didn't hit a single spear. Hardy only hit one single swanton. Hit at least 3 times, at least at the very minimum. You thought the match was over. And by the way, spear into a twist of fate is a wild and underrated reversal. So the match was going, it was great, it was awesome, and it was time for Jeff Hardy to hit the swanton and probably get the 1, 2, 3. Of course, Vicky Guerrero came down to ruin it all.
Vicky
But it's fine,
Guerrero.
whatever.
I forgot about Vicky Guerrero. Oh Lord. When she was SmackDown GM, I hated SmackDown. I'd watch it every week and then still be mad that Vicky Guerrero came out every single week. I hated Vicky Guerrero. It was her voice. Honestly, it was her voice. Her voice killed me every single time. Oh, it was awful. It was so bad.
What is she gonna do, right? Realistically, what is she gonna do? Blow Jeff Hardy's eardrum? It's fine. Jeff hits it. She pulls a ref out. Whatever, it's fine. Edge is not winning. And wait, look who it is. It's Matt Hardy, the most useless member of
Matt
Team
Hardy.
Extreme. Out comes Matt Hardy. And even as a Matt Hardy hater back in 2009 who had no need for Matt Hardy post 2006 once Jeff Hardy came back to the company, even I was excited. It was still the damn Hardy Boys reuniting. It was still Matt Hardy coming to help his little brother. It was Team Extreme. It was the Hardy Boys. He's here to help his brother against the man who, by the way, years ago got him fired and stole his girl. At least someone was there to finally help Jeff, no matter how useless the person was. So I'm excited. I'm into it. And then it happens. Because we can
Oh,
have nice things. Matt Hardy hits Jeff with the chair and breaks the heart of every single kid watching this live under the age of 15. Matt Hardy, that
yeah, that's
useless,
heartbreaking.
annoying fat idiot, the one who couldn't even beat Jack Swagger earlier in the night.
Bro, he just went in on Matt Hardy. Oh my
Decides to
gosh.
turn on Jeff and help the man who stole his girl from him, who got him fired years ago, win the title. And just like that, the legendary, iconic.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me because Edge literally stole Matt Hardy's like girl. And pretty much ruined his life, sent him down on a tailspin, and he helped him beat his brother. Nah, I don't know. I don't think I would have booked that. But
Amazing Jeff
whatever.
Hardy win from a month ago ends in just over a month because of his useless, stupid brother. And of course, Edge ends up champion. But by this point, I knew wrestling was fake. I knew it was scripted. Even then, though, I still thought Edge almost killed Jeff Hardy. It had been a few months since my awakening, but I didn't care. At this moment, it was still real to me, damn it. This was heartbreaking. This was truly heartbreaking because as a viewer, I was like, damn, it was so hard for Jeff to ever win the title. How is he ever gonna get it back? And it was also like, Matt Hardy, the most useless, annoying, disgusting brother ever. Of course, he had to turn on Jeff. Just when Jeff finally wins the title, it's like, of course, here he comes. Time for Matt Hardy to ruin everything. I can't lie, I was genuinely heartbroken. This was one of the saddest things I had ever watched live on wrestling. This one really hurt because Jeff's win meant so much, and then seeing this happen, it didn't feel real.
Yeah,
Top 10
that kind of
saddest
sucks.
anime deaths or whatever you want to call it. But
Top 10
such a banger
saddest
match,
anime
all things
deaths.
considered. The Matt versus Jeff.
Honestly, I think in reality, if Jeff could have kept clean, he and Edge could have had a classic, like long-term feud. But I think we're on the cusp of Jeff getting released again for another drug policy violation.
Storyline was all right, you know, after this, but on this night, let's be real, this match was fire, and that turn was shocking as hell. Listen, it was out of nowhere. Maybe if I read the dirt sheets at the time, I would have known or something, but I had no idea this was
It
ever
doesn't
gonna
have to
happen.
be
I never
wrestling.
thought Matt
I
would turn on
mostly
Jeff,
do
so when it
wrestling,
happened,
so there's
it truly
probably
broke my heart. When it
probably
clicks
don't
where
know
it's like,
too
wait,
much
it wasn't Edge who
outside
tried
of that.
killing Jeff, it wasn't Edge who hit him with his
But yeah, if you wanna send it, we'll take a look at it. I probably only got time for one more video, so yeah, if you want to go ahead and send it, I'll take a look.
car or got the pyro shot up in his face. It was Matt. Regardless of what happened on this night, it was a hot match, hot angle, legendary chemistry between Jeff and Edge, and a really crazy turn. Oh, and one depressed little Pav. It's
Yeah, sad
forever, I'm
Pav.
sorry. I don't think I ever got over this. Even later in the year when Matt and Jeff teamed up again on Smackdown, I remember watching that and just being like, no, like, Jeff, what are you doing? Get away from that sick freak. So disgusting. Jokes aside, though, that was a very special match and a very special turn. It was then time, though, for the main event. The reason everyone was there, the reason why I ordered this show, the reason why everyone ordered this show, the Royal Rumble match. There have been a lot of classic Rumble matches over the years, okay? And honestly, the main reason why I wanted to make this video is this was one of them. This to me is a top 10 Rumble match of all time, and it's a personal favorite. Not only because this was the Randy Orton show and his whole storyline going into this was just a stacked ass Rumble, and along with this,
oh my gosh, hold on, let's look. Cody Rhodes, Rey Mysterio, Taker, Shelton Benjamin. I can't tell who that is in the corner. That might be Randy. I don't get a good look of him. I don't know who this is by the back of the tights. That's CM Punk for sure. Fit Finley right there in the back corner. I can't tell whose leg that is going over.
It really felt like the last hurrah for our generation. The match begins with Rey Mysterio and John Morrison, and the crowd is so hot.
Carlito, bro.
The crowd is hot.
Carlito. If Carlito could bring this back, Carlito would be a fan favorite. I have no doubt. 100%.
Loud, they're rowdy, and you have a bunch of solid stars coming in and doing their thing, but business instantly picks up very early.
MVP,
and number
baby.
7, when Triple H pulls up. Triple H goes in there and he goes off, and it's
Ivan
so nostalgic
Koloff.
even watching Triple H in a Rumble, because it's like after this he only had 2 more Rumbles in him, and one of them was 2016, which was old man Triple H.
Also, we watched a video about Ivan Koloff not too long ago. Ivan Koloff being the man waiting for Triple H is hilarious because he would do almost nothing after this.
But here, Triple H was still full time doing his thing, and of course, it was hype because it's
and he got thrown out.
In the cut. When is Randy coming out? When is Triple H gonna ride out for his father-in-law and for his wife? And the anticipation, as soon as Triple H is out there, just builds and builds for whenever Randy comes out. And what's awesome is Randy ends up being the very next entrant. As we know, Randy is a heel at this point, obviously, the biggest heel in the company, and the crowd goes nuts when his music hits, and as soon as it hits, Jared just goes like, uh-oh. And when Triple H and Randy go at it, it was perfect, because Randy wasn't even on some, heel, scaredy cat vibes. He went straight in there and went toe-to-toe with Triple H, his former mentor,
he went to work.
His biggest op in his career at that point, the son-in-law of the old man who he just killed.
Yeah, how come he never does that backbreaker anymore? That used to be one of my favorite moves of his. Maybe it's injury related. But yeah, backbreaker is always such a pretty move.
Can't believe they butchered this WrestleMania main event. But no, at this moment, at this point in time, it was special. And like I mentioned before, as soon as Randy's in the Rumble, the entire Rumble revolves around him. And things only get better for Randy when his YGs pull up, Ted DiBiase Jr. and Cody Rhodes.
That's fine, Kentucky. I'll look at it. Finish this video and I'll move over to the Discord real quick.
Because then it becomes protect Randy at all costs, and it's them 3 versus everyone. And even in the beginning, this Rumble was so stacked. You had Rey Mysterio doing his thing, you had young John Morrison, Jericho comes out, Triple H, and
Finley,
of course Legacy,
Mike Knox too.
Wolves doing their thing. Okay,
Mike Knox
was racially motivated. Please, relax, guys. So by the time Legacy's going around destroying everyone, like Triple H, Finley, everyone and anyone, it all becomes, oh no, Jericho. Who can stop Legacy? How do you stop a trio in the Rumble? And then next thing you know,
ooh.
Okay, that's one way. Yes, The Undertaker comes out in the 2009 Royal Rumble. The crowd goes insane. Everyone just stops and stares at The Undertaker while he makes his entrance, and the sheriff of the company is on his way, and who also happens to have a history with Randall at this point, remember that. But Undertaker doesn't discriminate, he hates everyone, and it was so beautiful to see this. Undertaker was moving so fast, he was so quick and agile. Undertaker when his hips...
This was back when Undertaker was still good. Oh man, the last few times we would see Undertaker really just really don't do the Undertaker justice.
This actually worked. Yeah, and this was important because this ended up being Undertaker's second last Rumble appearance ever. The only one he made after this was 2017, which does that really count?
Yeah,
Not
no.
really. But this was prime Undertaker,
This was
2009
this was when he was
Undertaker, months
so
before
good
his
still.
magnum opus, months before his best match ever. He goes in there, he clears house, and the Undertaker was in the Rumble. I almost shed a tear.
Gold
And the
Dust.
moments just keep coming and coming. It's such a good Rumble. Next up was
W
Gold Dust,
Dustin
and it was only
Rhodes.
right that him and Cody Rhodes had their little moment, which the crowd absolutely loved. What a stacked Rumble, just such a nice mix of old stars and new
RVD.
stars. RVD came back to one of the loudest Rumble return pops ever at that point. Nobody expected RVD pulling up. Also, I can't lie, back in 2009 when I was
Kane.
watching this live, when
Our
I saw
truth.
RVD, I actually thought he was gonna win the Rumble. He didn't, he got clapped. But like, yo, look at the talent pool. Taker, Kane, Triple H, Ray,
Was that
Jericho, Randy, RVD,
was it
the Big Show. As
the
well
big
as
show?
stars on their way like young CM Punk, Kofi Kingston, Miz, Cody Rhodes, Dolph. It was so balanced. And one thing I always
I
loved
thought I
about this
saw
Rumble,
Brian
one thing I love
Kendrick.
about Rumbles in general, but they don't
Might be
often
wrong.
do, is when the ring just gets filled with a bunch of wrestlers and they're just going at it. To me, as a kid, that's what the Rumble was. That's what I always wanted to see. Just mayhem and destruction, a bunch of idiots and a bunch of Neanderthals fighting. And this one, we actually got it when there was like 15 people in the ring
Yeah, yeah,
tweaking.
yeah, yeah.
One
That's
of my
Brian
favorites
Kendrick.
moments
Yeah.
definitely was the hilarious Jericho and Undertaker interaction, which, yo, I really wish we had '09 Jericho versus '09 Taker. If only. We also had a truly iconic moment
Santino.
in this Rumble, which was Santino Marella getting
Santino.
clapped and having the fastest elimination in
Oh
history. This was a
yeah.
clip I used to watch over and over as a kid. I used to find this so funny for some reason growing up, and I still do. They absolutely nailed it. But Randy put on a legendary performance on this night. I don't know why no one ever talks about Randy's performance in this Rumble. He spent over 50 minutes into the match, and it wasn't because he had a bunch of eliminations. Like, no, that doesn't matter. I don't care if you have 10 eliminations or if you have 3 like he did. He
Yeah,
was on
really.
fire this night, and he had a crazy performance. RKO's everywhere, mid-air, mid-move, RKO there, here, everywhere, it doesn't matter. RKOing Cody's brother and then calls
Mike
Cody
Knox
over
just
like
laying
a
in the
gangster.
corner.
RKOing Big Show on the ropes. He was just on fire this night. He survived, and it wasn't one of those performances where he just like lays down in the corner the whole time. He was putting in work consistently throughout the entire match. But as expected, as people came, they went.
Bro,
Legends
he
returned.
RKO'd
They got eliminated. New
everybody.
stars showed up. They got eliminated. Legacy always found a way to survive like a bunch of rats. But right along with them was Triple H. Randy was out here RKOing Big Show on the ropes, just slowly surviving. And it was only right that the final 4 ended up being Legacy versus Triple H. And I always wondered, if Legacy were the final 3, would they become suicide bombers and do the ultimate sacrifice for Randy? Wait, what? After 56 minutes, it came down
I
to
think
this.
I think honestly they probably would, just to not face the wrath of Randy. Like if I was in their shoes and I had partnered myself up with Randy, who is on a psychotic like rant rage, I would probably take a dive. I just take myself out, just hop over the top rope, like, you know, Ted, Cody, get on out of here. Let's let Randy have his moment here.
This 3v1, Randy Orton, who just beat up the boss of the company, who could possibly be fired, arrested, life on the line, who's been out here acting like a serial killer, was this close to winning the Rumble and ruining everything for the McMahon family. And the only person who could stop him was Vince's son-in-law. Everything built up to this. It was so predictable, but it was exactly what everyone wanted and exactly what everyone needed. Like a pack of hyenas, they attacked Triple H, and the best part was the crowd loved it. Triple H was getting clapped,
Yeah.
and they wanted Legacy to beat his ass. And
Bro, Legacy was so over. It was insane. Legacy was crazy over, which made me believe that Ted DiBiase Jr. was going to have a crazy career. Cody Rhodes has a crazy career. Randy Orton has had a crazy career. The only real flop out of this was Ted DiBiase Jr.
At one point, we got a crazy spot, a scary spot. Triple H almost sends Randy over the top rope, and for a split second, I swear, there's no way you can tell me that it doesn't seem like he's going over. Heart-sinking moment. Even though I know who won this Rumble all these years later, even I saw this, I'm like, wait, what? Such a close call. Spine busters, pedigrees, everything you can imagine. Triple H is doing everything he can. Eliminates Ted. Crowd goes wild. Throws out Cody. And out of nowhere, like King Von with a Glock on 63rd, Randy legit 0.5 seconds later after Cody is out, sends Triple H out. and he wins the 2009 Rumble as the biggest heel in the company, the biggest demon in the company, the biggest savage, the
Crazy.
biggest heel. Goes out there, wins the Rumble, and
I
Detroit,
love
I
Randy.
swear, they
I think
cheer
Randy's
for him
awesome.
like he's the biggest superhero in the world. The whole show was built around this man. The whole storyline, the whole company was going all in on Randy Orton, and he clutched it at the Rumble. And Randy Orton with those scary ass eyes, looking so demented.
But yeah, he does look insane. Like he'll get that look on his face, and even me as like a grown adult that knows what wrestling is and what's going on is still terrified. Like he would look at me like that, and I would probably give him whatever he wanted.
It's so evil, gets the win, and caps off, to me, in my opinion, a classic Rumble. He celebrates with his boys, Pyro goes off, Triple H is dead, Triple H is depressed, he let down his father-in-law, and Randy Orton, just less than a week after doing this, is now going to the main event of WrestleMania.
He's guaranteed
How the hell
WrestleMania,
do you not
which is
tune into Raw
crazy.
the next night? And trust me, everyone I knew did. Such a special moment. I love this Rumble. From Taker to Randy versus Triple H, RVD coming back, Cody and Goldust, how stacked the Rumble was in general, old versus new, this actually feeling like a Rumble with a ring being filled up. I have always loved this Rumble, and I think it's so underrated, and to me, it's a classic. I love how they threaded the entire Randy
Yeah, I think
storyline
this is a
in here.
classic.
I think
I'll
this is
agree.
the top 10 Rumble of all time, and it also means a lot to me because this, along with 2010, like I said, felt like the last hurrah for a lot of these guys and for the Rumble in general from our childhoods. Taker and Triple H, they never really made appearances after this. To me, the quality of the Rumble also really declined in 2011 and 2012, but here on this night, it was so special, so stacked, and it just felt like the most important match
Right,
ever.
yeah, because like, how do you punish Randy Orton if he's guaranteed a Mania match from winning the Rumble? You would have to, you'd have to bend the rules somewhere. You'd have to probably take him. I don't even know. He's guaranteed a championship match, and as hot as he is in this moment, there's no way he doesn't win.
And I'm just a sucker for how the entire show and match revolved around Randy Orton, and they delivered. They delivered in every single way. This was a time I became a huge Randy fan in 2009. When he was a heel and he started beating up Vince, I'm like, you know what? That's it. He might be my new guy for a while.
Yeah, W.
Fun
Randy.
fact, I used to
Just
get
beat
pissed
up
off
Vince.
as a kid because I'd play SVR 2009 and they didn't have the updated Randy model. He didn't have the updated tattoos, and I'd be so sad. I'm like, no, I want the evil Randy with the tattoos. This was special. So the question is this show a classic? Is this a classic Rumble pay-per-view? I think it is. Despite Jack Swagger and Matt Hardy, and you can say, oh, it was a weak title match between Cena and JBL, I think the Rumble is so good, a true classic Rumble. Plus Jeff versus Edge, I think it's on the brink. For me, it is a classic. But if I was being subjective, I would say it's a great show, maybe not a classic, but I'm not being subjective. It's my channel, my video. I think it's a classic. They delivered, and even Cena versus JBL.
Yeah, I think it was good.
Shawn Michaels
I think
did
it
his
was a
best, and he
classic.
made it pretty fun. I'm a sucker for this show. I'm a sucker for this time period. No one ever talks about this Rumble. Everyone's always talking about 08 and 2010. Rightfully so. I do too. But I love the 2009 Rumble, especially because this did feel like a last hurrah along with 2010. This just means something to me, okay? Okay, I'm sorry. In the comments down below, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you remember from this show. Let me know what you think of this show. Is this...
Yeah, this was a great show. If I'm being honest, you know, this is a great show. It's a great show. Yeah, I think in the future we'll watch it in the Discord. But yeah, great video, great pay-per-view. This was pre me watching, so I've watched it like, I think I watched it in like 2015, 2016, right? But I do want to go back and watch it again. But I think it'd be more fun if we all went and watched it together. So I might save that for when we can get in the Discord and watch it. But you know, W Wrestling Gifts is always Pav. You make great videos. Love your videos. Keep up the good work as always.